It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn? Hey, 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 hey. This ain't no game. Swing the remix gone. Hey, hey,
What's your name?
Hi, I'm Jen Rivera from Pole to Pole Fitness.
Hi, my name is Patrick Wood.
My name is Michael Bruno.
What's your favorite cooking spice?
My favorite cooking spice is turmeric. I like it because it is high in vitamin C, potassium, and zinc. It also works as a anti-inflammatory, and it's good for your joint, heart, and skin health. And it because it helps regulate your blood, so it helps regulate clotting, so that you don't have blood clots going on in your system, which is obviously very important in this time and age right now. It reduces the rate of growth of fat cells in your body, and it also slows down weight gain. So great dietary advantages of turmeric.
Cooking spice, ooh. I have to say that's difficult. I don't know, I like crushed red pepper.
Me too, I like crushed red pepper.
I would say sazón completo.
When you hear the phrase, united we stand, divided we fall, what does that mean to you?
To me, that means standing up for your freedom, fighting for our liberties, not taking it for granted, and being, everyone being one. We all have to realize that, if we're all at odds with each other, then we're gonna lose. And when I say we're gonna lose to the corrupt people that have their hands in the government.
I like to take that phrase very literal, because if we all stand together, all with one cause and with one just, then we are the strongest united together. But if we allow little differences to separate us and to divide us, then obviously we'll be weaker as a unit, rather than if we were just joined together with that one sole purpose.
It means that, exactly what it means, that nothing can happen without the efforts of people working together. So when I hear that, the division is what causes falls, but the actual win comes from the collective.
I work with TFKTWA, training foster kids to work with animals. Our kids soon will be getting their first apartment on their own. What cooking advice would you give them?
I would say buy yourself a rice cooker, because then you can make rice and have it in your refrigerators, and then you can always build with rice. So rice is my favorite because you can add anything to rice, beans, potatoes. So definitely buy a rice cooker if you can't do it from scratch like me. But if you can do it from scratch, definitely learn to do rice. Or if you know how to do rice, you're in the good tracks. I would say find those items that can be built upon, like potatoes and rice and salad.
Oh. So I need cooking advice myself. I'm not I'm not a good cook. I think start off with the basics, because I've only started off with the basics, and basics scrambling eggs, making a grilled cheese. I think just finding recipes online and following the recipes and experimenting. That's for the most part, everybody that I know that got involved in cooking and started, that's how they started. At least that's what they told me.
Sometimes it doesn't hurt to just keep it basic. I like to sometimes be basic in cooking, You don't need all these fancy, you don't need a whole selection of spices and everything. Sometimes I like to just go with garlic, salt, and pepper. So you can keep it simple and it'll still come out delicious.
Thank you so much for being on Melting Pot and contributing to the Melting Pot. I want to ask you to contribute whatever you would like. Now, here's a chance for you to talk about whatever you want to talk about.
So basically what I want to talk about is the ability to manifest positivity. We're living in a time where all we see, all we hear, all we visualize on our daily basis, commuting and on TV and on the computer and on social media. Trying to manifest positivity is pretty hard in a time where everything just seems so negative. And I think the manifestation of that is super important. And to not take everything you read and see at face value. Remember, everything is based on your perspective. Everything is based on how you perceive information. So for example, one thing that has bothered me is apparently it's surfacing in social media, a message sent from the White House. And it was very sad to hear that they would rather be negative about people who don't have the jibby jabby instead of just wishing everybody a happy holiday. 2021 was a difficult year for small businesses, and it's very important that we stay positive. Remember that in 2020, the same propaganda, the same negativity is what shut our country down. And so I'm asking everybody to not allow the media to basically dictate what is supposed to happen the righteous way. So please, I know you guys are watching and listening to people and stuff like that, but we actually are the ones that are manifesting this. So please, forget what you read, know that God is in control, and manifest positivity.
That's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much all I have to say today. The importance of that. And I know you work with, youngsters, and it's very important that they understand that as well. Everything they see on social media, it's all created to set them back in regards to the power of their brains. I really believe that. So please, if you're a young person in your early 20s or you're a teenager, think outside the box. Everything is not social media. Start reading and start walking in nature. Start finding things outside of this box that they're building, because the future is you guys, and the way things are developing, if things don't change, you'll be a slave to all of this eventually.
Speaking of social media, do you have any social media you have people to follow? But before you answer, I'd like to say that I completely agree with what you're saying, but I also think people need to use social media. Don't let it use you.
Yes, I agree with that. Right. Don't let it use you. And I think I realize that now in 2021. Like I don't, at my business, I don't post too much of me. And if I do post, I just give very little bit in regards to my business actually. But that's very true, Brenda. You can't let it use you. You use it.
Do you want to plug any of your social media activities?
Yeah, so I'm part of this show that we do every single day. It's called VVeOutside. And VVeOutside was developed by me and Michael Bruno. And what we do there is just let average people, everybody who's just living through this madness, the ability to talk. It doesn't matter like if you're like have 2 followers on Instagram or whatever, if you're a freedom fighter and you believe in freedom and believe that everything that is happening right now is not for the betterment of humanity, then you will see people like you. So it's pretty much a place for people who feel alone in this fight in regards to, you know, the mandates and medical freedom.
That's VVeOutside.
Yep, VVeOutside.
Oh, but it's 2 V's though, right? If they were to look for it.
It's 2 V's and then the word, you know, we, so it's VVE outside, because somebody already has the W, so we just put VVV. And the VVV really is vision and views.
And victory.
Yeah, and victory, because we're gonna have victory, so you guys will see.
Well, thank you so much again, Jen Rivera from Pole to Pole Fitness and co-host of VVeOutside Instagram Live show. Thank you and God bless.
I guess really, just a little background is just that I'm out in the protest out in New York City, and I'm out there in the streets. And one thing I would definitely love to see is to see more parents out there, because they're coming for our children, and I really fear for our kids' future. And that's the biggest thing that I'm advocating for right now, is just getting parents out there to fight, because you need to fight for your kids in order for our country and for their future in general.
If somebody wanted to be involved, should they contact you? What should they do?
Well, there's numerous groups going on all throughout, not just New York City. I know there are other places, in other states that have great groups, but in New York City we have New York Freedom Rally. You can find them on Instagram at New York Freedom Rally 2. There's Ari. I don't know his. I don't have his on the top of my head, but you can definitely find us. We're all linked together, and we're very active. And right now we're going the route of civil disobedience, but in a peaceful manner. And people need to understand we're not here to cause disturbances or to, you know, riot or anything like that. We're doing this as peaceful as possible to get our message across. And you don't have to be scared to get in that fight with us, because you can go in and have the people respect your privacy and your right as a human to, you know, to be able to dine somewhere. I've now seen people get rejected from grocery stores with their family, and she wasn't able to purchase food for her family because they didn't want to work, you know, they had their reasoning for not wearing the mask. And, you know, we have to respect that privacy, because this is America after all, and this is a free country.
Well, you are right, and I completely agree with you. This is a free country, and we need to respect and protect our freedoms and not take them for granted. God bless you for all you do, and God bless America.
Thank you.
Just to let people know, I'm a healthcare worker. I have been in the healthcare field for 10 years, specifically radiology. I was on the front lines this whole time when COVID hit us, and you know, New York was the epicenter of the country when it came to COVID. And I just need people to honestly hold the line. If you're doubting something and you're afraid to speak out and feel that you're alone, you're not alone. There are a lot of people out there that feel the same way as you. There are a lot of people out there that are currently afraid to speak up. I've put myself out there. I never thought I'd be an activist, and I've been an activist since July of 2021 because the healthcare workers, we were targeted first with this mandate, this unconstitutional mandate. And we're now, everything that everyone's been saying about these mandates or anything that's been labeled a conspiracy theory is now coming true. People said that, you know, we would be dealing with this for a while. We're going to be hitting year 3, 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and we're into year 3 now. We talked about the vaccines being mandated, and if you did not hold the line and if you complied, they would just keep going and going. And that's the case right now. We're on shot 3. Governor Hutchell is just announced the mandate for healthcare workers to get the boosters. And for those that didn't hold the line the first time, here's your chance now. And here's your chance to make a statement and fight back. The second that all of you say no and enough is enough, that's when we will win. And if they get through us with this booster mandate, it will continue on to everybody else, just like it happened the first time. It was the healthcare workers, then the teachers, then the municipal workers, then the children. Where the CDC is flipping around, I think they've lost their credibility within the last few weeks, especially when Omicron showed up, and everybody was catching it and spreading this disease, virus. You know, for me, it's more than just fighting for my livelihood. I was willing to lose 2 jobs and risk, you know, my property in order to fight for everyone's bodily autonomy and the right to choose. When there's risk, there should be choice. And it hurts and it's disheartening to experience and witness as a healthcare worker us being taken advantage of. And then, you know, in 2020 we were heroes and courageous. 2021 healthcare workers that did not want to put an experimental jab into their body were being called selfish and idiots and demanded to be fired. And it's comical to me because we work months, you know, without any protection, no PPE, and it was okay. We weren't a threat, you know, to the patients. We weren't at risk when we were face to face with COVID patients, and then all of a sudden, you know, we're a threat to the health and safety of the public and employees, the patients, if we don't get this jab. And we're seeing now all these hospitals are short-staffed because all these vaccinated employees have been spreading Omicron, you know, within these facilities and hospitals. And to add to that, the shortages that they already had from firing all these healthcare workers. If we're really in such a dangerous pandemic, would we really be firing all these healthcare workers? Think about that. So I'm not giving up until we, you know, end these mandates. I'm going to keep fighting, and I encourage everybody else to stand up and vocalize your frustrations and empower others to stand up in this fight. There's a bigger picture here, and the government overreach is real. And I always say, if we allow the government to break laws during emergencies, then they will create more emergencies to break laws. And at this point, if we can't see how all these other states that are open states without heavy mandates or any mandates have lower numbers than states like New York that have these ridiculous heavy mandates, and we have the higher numbers, I don't know what it'll take for people to wake up. But yeah, so I'm hoping healthcare workers now stand up, and I hope, you know, teachers, municipal workers, and small business owners start standing up too, because we're getting to the point where each time we give the government an inch, they take a mile. So please fight And if you're interested in watching everyday regular people tell their personal stories and encourage one another to stand up to this tyranny and unjust mandates, you can check out VVeOutside on Instagram. That's VVeOutside. And myself, Jen, and Patrick, we, try to do a live Monday through Friday and just get everyday regular people on to, tell their stories, let their voices be heard. And Brenda, she was one of them. So please, let's not give into this, and let's keep fighting.
Thank you.
No
That was
problem.
fabulous. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now. Hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah.
This is my so.
What?
This is my first time doing a live on Instagram. So.
Wow.
So, Miss Brenda, everybody, if you don't know Miss Brenda, she's the warrior of East Harlem. And she is here, and she's wonderful. She does a lot of things for the community. I think she's low-key on purpose. But I think in this war, you got to be a secret ninja on the low. Tell us a little bit, Brenda, what's going on?
Well, there was 3 things I was hoping to talk about tonight. My work with Latino Strike Force, starting an East Harlem Neighborhood Association, and the launch of my nonprofit, TFKTWA, training foster kids to work with animals. I'd like to start with TFKTWA first.
Okay.
It's a nonprofit training foster kids to work with animals. It's our dual mission to prepare foster kids who are about to age out of the system for adulthood and to help animals at the same time. So to learn more about it, you could go to my website to learn about TFKTWA. And I was inspired by God to start. I've been a full-time DJ for over 20 years, and about 2018, I started to feel this overwhelming amounts of gratitude, like feeling so grateful and so lucky and so fortunate. And I felt like God was calling me. And I had rejected God for a long time. I was raised Catholic, but then I rejected God, and I just felt God calling me back, and I renewed my covenant with God. And I felt like I've been so fortunate, I wanted to give back. And I love animals. Yeah. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, when you work with animals, a lot of comments you'll get is, well, why don't you help kids? Why don't you care about people? And then the Spirit of God just gave me this idea. I do also a show called DJ Brenda Black's Disco Dance for Shelter Pets and Wildlife, and that is to help bring awareness to TFKTWA, and it airs Monday at 8:30 p.m. on Manhattan Neighborhood Network, but you can watch it wherever you are on the the MNN.org website. So I'm going to stop talking about that. If you want to learn about it, please go to my website.